Hi guys, welcome to our second week of class. Hopefully you all are having a good week. This week our Learning Module 2 presentation is a little bit different. It's a screencast of how to do a little bit of library research. Probably a lot of you are familiar with searching for digital resources, but I'm just going to give a little overview here because I know we have a full spectrum of individuals taking this class. First thing is I've set up a Learning Module 2 presentation folder here. It does not have chapter content, but if you click here, it'll have the screencast shortly. Um, but it has a link to Ann Driscoll's page. This is our special education librarian. So if you click here, it takes you right to Ann's page. She has some great places to start searching. These are some great databases to start with. PsycInfo, I recommend Education Research Complete, as well as ERIC. As long as you don't use any ERIC Digest articles, you have to use actual research studies for this class. And that's a picture of Anne. She's a wonderful resource. If you email or call her, she will get right back to you. So you can start researching by clicking on some of these links. They take you right to the databases. But the other way is I'll show you how to enter through the main library webpage. Okay, so if you click on one of those links, you just have to enter in your Mason Net ID, which is the first part of your email, and then your email password. And I'll do that here. And you'll see it will take me directly into the database that I clicked on. Okay, so going to Ann's website makes it a little bit easier to get into some of the databases we typically use in education. But there is a way just to get to all of them in case you want to do it that way, as well as if you want to go directly to a specific journal. Okay, and it's taking a little while on my computer here because I am at my home computer, but we'll check back with that in just 1 second. Okay, so besides Ann's page, this is a Word document and she gives some tips for searches, and this is a bit more specific than I'm going to go into, but it's a great resource for searching and different ways to search if you have a really specific topic. This is a PowerPoint that Anne has generously shared with me. And it just gives an overview of doing searches. And if you're less of a word reading type person, this has real brief information, while this document here has really specific information. Okay, and again, at the bottom here will be my screencast on how to do searches that we're doing now. Okay, so as you can see, if you clicked on Ann's link, you logged in, it would take you right to PsycInfo here, and this is the PsycInfo search page. However, if you go in and you just decide, hey, I'm going to go to the JMU webpage, I usually go to academics, and then, whoops, I lost it there, university libraries. On the university libraries page, they seem to be always changing this page on me. I then would go to Digital Library Resources. So under Where to Go for Information, I click on Digital Library Resources, and that will take you to the search page. Here, you'll see that you can look for articles and databases. Typically, I go over here to database search, and I'm going to type in, oops, PsycInfo, and let's see if it will pull up that one for me. That's one I usually have pretty good luck with. Okay, and again, I apologize. I'm at my home computer, so it's taking a little bit longer. Okay. So I actually don't want APA SIGNet. I just want PsycInfo. So there we have it there before I put an H in there, and it doesn't have the H with it. So you just click on PsycInfo, and again, it looks just like the link from Ann's website, and you can type in what topic you want to search there. And let's say I want to look for articles on reading interventions. So I could just do a generic search on reading interventions, and we'll see how many articles I find. And it will probably be quite a few. So in a second, we'll talk about narrowing and fine tuning your searches. Okay, so here you'll see that I have 3,800 articles. That's a bit too many for what I'm trying to do here. So I'll go back and there's a few ways I would recommend narrowing your searches. First thing is when we do research in this class, I definitely want it to be recent. So I would typically recommend from 2000 to the present, unless you're doing a reading, you know, research. So then I would recommend the last 5 years. So I had put in reading interventions. So while I said most folks could go from 2000 to 2015, since I'm doing a reading search, I'll do 2010 to 2015. And this is typically, it takes a little while for them to get 2016 articles up there. So I usually search up through the year before. The other ways I would limit my search um, would be, hold on just 1 second, let me see where I can click this. Um, is with the peer reviewed. I couldn't find that button. The peer reviewed journals only. Some people, and this one doesn't really give you the option to do that here. Some people like to click on only full text articles, but you might miss something that's really, really important. I know it's easier to find full text articles, but I would start out by limiting your search years and then peer reviewed because you definitely want peer reviewed articles. Okay, so let's do our search here. And let's see if that cuts down my number of articles. A good number is a few hundred. Again, I have still over 1,000, so I want to go back again. And you'll see a lot of the articles here have full text, or Mason Link can take you to the full text. Okay. What I usually recommend to people is download the full text and save it to your computer so you can have a resource of all your articles. Another way to do it is to click on the DOI. Usually, if you click on the DOI, it will take you right there. And again, it has to redirect you to a different site. So could take just a second. Okay, let me see if I copy and paste it here, if it will work better by doing the DOI. A lot of times they do want you to put the DOI as identifier in the APA style reference. That's preferred before any other, identifying information in terms of searching for an article. It's APA wants you to put it at the end, and that's why I'm trying to click on the DOI. Now, while that's loading the other way, again, when you clicked on this, it gives you the full link to the PDF. So either way would be fine. Let's see how I'm doing here. If I'm getting the DOI. Oh, it's taking a little while. So it might be easier to click on that full text. Other ways to limit our searches, because again, I had over 1,000 articles, so I could go back and besides limiting by peer reviewed and the years, I could say learning disabilities. Okay. And then I could search again. Okay, so now I have 147 results. This is very manageable. While you're saying, oh, Sharon only asked us to find 8 to 10 articles, you may need to go through 50 or 100 articles before you find one specifically on what you need. So 147, that's a really, really good number. And let's see that DOI. Oh, look, the DOI it took me to the site, the APA PsycNet page. Now, the thing about this, sometimes this will happen, it takes you to a page where it asks you to purchase the article. If it does that, a lot of times because you are going through the library, it won't bring up the add to cart. If it says this never, never, never pay for an article, I'm glad it did this so you can see this, never pay for an article, go back and see if you can get it through Mason Link or another way to get the full text. A lot of times, like the one we just did, if you went back, and where was it there? There's a full text right here where you don't have to pay for it. So never, never pay for an article. Okay. But again, when doing the reference, put that DOI number so that way people could easily find it, even people not in the class. Now, another feature I want to point out to you, most databases have is a term finder. If you click on the term finder, let's say you type in a term that isn't recognizable in this certain database. For instance, I could type in dyslexia, and I could find if that's what it's called in this database. A lot of times we use terminology in education that's not the same in all journals, so this will give you an idea. Okay, so dyslexia is found in a lot of journals, so it is a good search term. Broader terms would be, this also gives you ideas for more broad searches, learning disabilities and reading disabilities in Alexia. Um, Also other related searches. So it really does help you find to the languages that you're searching for. And so sometimes you might want to do the term finder and then go back to searching. You might want to put, and you see it cleared my form when I did that. You might want to put new terminology or more clear terminology for your searches. Okay, so this is just a very, very simple demonstration of one database. Going back to our course webpage and going to Ann Driscoll's site because it's a lot easier than going through the many steps of the library site. Another one is ERIC, and I'm just going to click on it. I'm not going to do all the searches, but I'm just going to click on it so you can see the visual differences. When you click on another database, it doesn't have the same interface. Okay, it looks quite a bit different, and it'll ask me to log in here. If you're off campus, it will usually ask you to log in. And again, once you log in, usually it will let you use things free of charge. Okay, it is not here, and that might be because I'm going through Ann's page and not the library. So if it does that and you say, okay, I really know I shouldn't pay for this, so I'm not going to pay for it, go back to the library homepage and get through it through that way. Okay, so I went back the way I did before, going to my digital library resources. And I'm simply doing this again because when I clicked it through Ann's page, it probably didn't recognize that I am going through Mason. For some reason, it didn't take me to Eric there, so I'm just doing it by letter. And I'm almost there. There we go. I'm going to go to Eric. And then here, hopefully, it will pull right up for us because I've already logged in. It should pull up the ERIC database. It will say EBSCO because that's the host, but it's right here is whatever database you're looking at. Sometimes it's ERIC, sometimes it's others because EBSCO hosts several databases. And again, here you can use more search terms to narrow your search. You can use quite a few. You can also narrow by full text, but again, I wouldn't always recommend that because you might miss a few really good articles. You can check peer reviewed. You can also check the years and months you want to search. Okay, so this just gave you another idea of an interface that you can use to do searches in a particular database. Hopefully this has given you a nice overview. If you have other questions, you can always talk to Ann by email or phone or touch base with me. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.